the same kid that had to follow Tua, and did.
The tape speaks for itself at Alabama.
Mac Jones, that deal, man.
This is what it looks like to be elite.
Fields watches downfield. He's got it!
The ups and the talent, I'm drafting that.
An extremely important day today in the NFL with both Ohio State and Alabama pro days happening. Justin Fields dazzled in the 40-yard dash, threw some dimes as well. Mac Jones threw once again at his second pro day just about a week after the first one. The 49ers, as you might have guessed, were on hand. We welcome you to NFL Live. So glad you're with us today. Coming up, Adam Schefter in moments with the names of teams who also like Mac Jones. It's why the 49ers felt they had to get all the way up to 3 overall. Mel Kiper Jr. also joins us a little later with his latest big board and the reasons Justin Fields is the number 2 quarterback in the draft in his mind. So we begin the show, though, with Louis Riddick and Greg McElroy. Louis at Ohio State's pro day, Greg McElroy at Alabama's pro day. And Greg, we start with you, your impressions of what happened today there in Tuscaloosa.
Well, Mac Jones took the field looking to throw 58 scripted passes showcasing arm strength and athleticism. And he did so with a couple of his friends, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith and Najee Harris taking part in the on-field drill. So it was a star-studded day here in Tuscaloosa. And now to Columbus and Louis Riddick.
Yeah, Matt, I'll tell you what. Look, Justin Fields put on a show here today. It started off right off the bat with his 4.44 in the 40-yard dash. That's something that people weren't really surprised of as far as how fast he would run. And I don't think people were really surprised as far as how good he threw the football as well. All 3 levels of the football field, short, intermediate, deep. He uncorked some absolute just moonshots on the deep passes down the sideline. He showed tremendous touch on the short routes when he was throwing to Trey Sermon. Look, he really kind of just nailed this whole thing from beginning to end, and I think NFL teams left this workout going, I think we may have a new quarterback number 2, possibly, Laura. Who knows? We'll see.
Ooh, I love it. All right, more from Louis and more from Greg later on in the show. Stay tuned for a little more detail about exactly what these quarterbacks did. Alabama and Ohio State are among the top programs in the nation when it comes to developing NFL talent. This year, no different. In fact, Alabama has 10 players in Scout Inc.'s top 150 prospects for the 2021 NFL Draft, and Ohio State isn't far behind, ranking second with 7 players. You can bet you're going to hear plenty of names from both Alabama and Ohio State early and often next month in Cleveland. Also here today, we've got Adam Schefter, we've got Mina Kimes, we have Marcus Spears. Adam, let's start with you. What are you hearing after what you just heard Louis say about how high Justin Fields could go in the draft?
Laura, it's always all about the quarterbacks. And, of course, when these pro days happen, they take on an added significance because of the fact that there's no combine this year. So teams really can't see these quarterbacks up close and in person in Indianapolis in February. Now they have to go to their pro days in March. And I think Justin Fields impressed today, impressed the NFL world. A lot of personnel on hand to watch him. A lot of people on hand to watch Mac Jones as well. We've said all along that there would be a rush for quarterbacks at the top of the draft. I still don't see that changing. I still see Trevor Lawrence going 1. We see Zach Wilson going 2 to the Jets. We see potentially Mac Jones going 3. And Justin Fields and Trey Lance are going to be square in that conversation to try to change the 49ers' minds over the next month and to tempt the Falcons enough at 4 and to tempt the other teams that haven't landed a quarterback this offseason, like the Carolina Panthers, like the Denver Broncos, like some other teams that have quarterback questions, to potentially move up in the draft. And again, there's that rush on the quarterbacks who will be in demand next month.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about how much this could actually change even more. We already saw a big blockbuster deal happen on Friday, but this thing's only beginning. And Marcus, you just heard Adam lay it out, how maybe those top 3, those top 4 look. There's seemingly this narrative ever since the 49ers traded all the way up to 3, as Adam reported, to that Justin Fields' stock is falling in some way. What do you think is going on there? He definitely performed well today. So what's happening with Justin Fields?
Straight foolishness. He's a victim of Ohio State, black quarterbacks not doing well, period. Like, it's no other way to say it. Because outside of that, I don't know why Justin Fields would fall when we think about this process and everything that's transpired so far and coming off today in his pro day. And look, here's the bottom line. We don't know if Justin Fields has fallen. We don't know what these teams plan to do. But the bottom line is he's done nothing to hurt his stock. from the end of the season to right now. So all of these guys that we're talking about in this tier, basically after Trevor Lawrence, should be all held in the same regard, and now you determine what the differentiating factors are. But for Justin Fields' stock to be falling, all I can think of is Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State last year, Ohio State quarterbacks not having a lot of success in the league when they leave after putting up great numbers. But outside of that, I need to know another reason why it would fall, because he did play in the Ryan Day offense. From last time I heard and talking to coaches, is a very process-oriented offense where you do have to go to first, second, and third reads and then use your legs and athleticism. So I'm just waiting for somebody to tell me, outside of that, I don't know how he's fallen, and we are getting to this point still a month out from the NFL draft.
Who said he's falling? No one said he's falling.
We don't really know.
No one said he's falling at all.
Well,
Again, I think this is just a question.
That was the question.
Yeah, I don't think he's falling at all. I think the question is, I think teams really have fallen for Trevor Lawrence at one. That's always the case. Zach Wilson's risen up the boards. People love him. And the 49ers really like Mac Jones, who's in strong consideration. Nobody's ever said anything about Justin Fields' stock falling or Trey Lance's stock falling. There's 5 quarterbacks. They're all going to be high picks.
Right.
It's just a question of what quarterback you prefer for your team, your system, your offense.
Well, the reality is going into this season, we were thinking of Justin Fields as being in the conversation for the #1 overall pick. And now we are hearing 4, 5, potentially behind Mac Jones. And I think it does raise questions. Why? What are these teams not seeing in him? Because what I saw for 2 years is a quarterback who shredded top defenses, notably better defenses than any other quarterback in this class. Like if you look at the advanced metrics, these are from our Bill Connolly, the rankings of the average defense these quarterbacks played. Justin Fields by far played the toughest slate of schedules. Now, I do think there's something to the fact that he did struggle against Indiana and Northwestern, and I've heard the criticism that at times he held on to the ball too long, but that's because he was big game hunting, which, by the way, is another reason why anyone who uses Justin Fields and Dwayne Haskins in the same sentence has not watched this quarterback play football. He is aggressive. He is fast, as we saw today. He is accurate at all 3 levels. To me, any team that passes on him, like if he falls, we are overthinking this. And that potentially you could see a team, if he does go later than some of the other quarterbacks, get a massive bargain in this kid.
Yeah, really fast, Marcus, because I want to get you back in here. We're actually going to have Louis Riddick give a little more context to why Ryan Day thought that Justin Fields struggled in those games that Mina mentioned a little later on in the show. But the athleticism that he presents, I mean, yes, we've seen the way he can throw the football, but why is that such a key in why you think Fields should be looked at a little bit higher in this draft?
Look, I'm very common sense. Mina brings the receipts. She's my receipt carrier when I need proof and evidence of my common sense takes. Do you see these times these defenders running in college? Did you watch Aaron Donald rush the passer and Leonard Floyd and TJ Watt? Did you see the guys that had to go above and beyond to win those games? Did we not watch Lamar Jackson against the Cleveland Browns with Myles Garrett and that defensive outfit? That's why we're talking about athleticism. It ain't foreign. We ain't saying quarterbacks can't play in the NFL if they don't have crazy amounts of athleticism and talent. We know guys can navigate the pocket, buy themselves time, and do all of that. But having that type of athleticism affords you the ability to go above the X's and O's, just like Justin Herbert did this year, and it gives you an advantage in this league.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, we're now less than a month away from the draft, and to Adam's point, it may just matter what these teams think fit best in their system when it comes to how they'll draft these quarterbacks. Let's go right to Adam here with some of the latest news around the NFL, beginning, Adam, with the owners' meeting that happened today. What went on there?
Laura, the official approval of a 17-game regular season. So wrap your mind around that one, because the system that had been in place for an awfully long time now has changed. And we're now going to get these extra matchups. AFC teams